Assalamu alaikum and welcome to our podcast. I'm Sobia Ahmed and today we are going to dive into a very important topic for school community, and that's parents and community engagement, and especially how to handle the difficult conversation of parents professionally. It happens daily in every school, and how we handle it actually break and build the trust of the parent. Today we have Miss Simon Azli with us. She is an educationist and she has spent years in navigating parents' concerns with empathy and trust. Assalamu alaikum, Miss Saima.
Walaikum
Thank you
Assalam.
so much for joining us. Miss Saima, before today we are going to learn a lot from you.
Thank you.
Miss Saima, before we start with the heavy stuff, let's start with the very light one. Miss Saima, can you tell us a bit about your role and how often you interact with the parents?
Thank you so very much, Sobia, for inviting me and giving me this opportunity to speak on this important topic. So, as a school head, my role basically encompasses not only overseeing the school administration, but yes, to collaborate with the community and with our stakeholder, including parents. So, I interact with parents regularly. It's whether it's a scheduled meeting, it's unscheduled, it's the school event or the activity, or even some concerning parents. So it's a ongoing process and a regular process. So this is something where I prefer that parents should be given autonomy to speak. On the other hand, they must have this understanding that what are the school rules and regulations and policies and procedures which are being followed by one set organization, and they have to be with us. So this is something like being a leader. I believe like we need to create a culture where everyone is giving respect to each other. So this is something that is so very important. Whensoever I would interact with parents, I have interaction with parents. So I used to give them that acknowledgement that they are being heard and they are there for a set opinion whatsoever is there in their mind. So we are there to support them. So if they are given that positivity, and if they are getting on that positivity from the other side, so I believe the situation or the scenario usually changes in a positive aspect. Yes, someone is there to listen us and to resolve our problems. So follow up is so very important, I believe. Like whatsoever is happening in school life, that must be followed by a strong follow up, and we need to basically work together in order to bring improvement in our organizations.
Okay, Miss Saima, what do you enjoy most? Engagement with the parents or community?
Well, both, because when we'll talk about parents, if your parents have a good circle and they're good in number, so it means they are spreading on the words, and that is your community. So community again, parents are from community and community is with parents. So this is an interlinked chain, I believe, and this is somehow very interesting because different perspective those are coming to you. You are knowing them, you are addressing them, and the most enjoyable moment, as you said, the most interesting thing in all this dealing is that when you are resolving someone's issue, so that is a feel of achievement that I always
Exactly,
feel on.
exactly. And Miss Saima, are there any common issues which parents used to bring up, or all the time the concerns are different?
Yeah, it varies from situation to situation. I can't say every time it's the same. Anyhow, if we could have a big picture in front of us as a leader, so we can see like nowadays parents are more curious and they are more concerned about their child's studies. So when I just use the word they are more concerned, so they are actually linking this concern with the marks. They really want that their child should get in good marks, good grades in every subject. That is actually humanly not possible. Anyhow, these are such expectations those are coming in, and that's a generic picture I'm just posing on.
Okay, Miss Saima, for our audience concern or audience information, let's take an real life example. If a parent is coming with very upset about the academics of his or her child, how you will calm down? How you will start the conversation to calm down that person?
By the way, Ms. Sobia, it's a very natural and common practice of the school, where everyday parents are coming, and yes, many of the times they are coming with that hyper mindset, where they really want a solution at once, because again parents would have their own expectations. So I always believe like expectations are at one side, on the other hand school policies are there. So as a leader we have to basically bridge that gap. This is something like whensoever they are coming with some concern and they are getting hyper, so the very important strategy is to listen them actively. If they will be feeling that they are being heard and they are being acknowledged, then I think situation will be changed. And this is what that I've experienced on a daily basis. When you are listening them actively, patiently, yes,
Empathetic with them.
being
Okay.
empathetic with them, this is something, it's another strategy that usually we apply. But again, first ensure them that someone is there to listen them.
And sometimes it happens, Miss Saima, that they always blame the teachers for the reason why their kid is struggling in the studies.
Yes.
How do you handle that? Because you have, on one hand, you have to save your teachers, and the
Yes.
other hand, you make them relax at the same time. So, how do you handle that situation?
Yes, Sobia, it's a very challenging situation, by the way, because again, you have to see and you have to actually find out or dig out the, facts. What is right, what is wrong. At time, whatsoever the concerned parents are bringing, I mean, if that's true or that's the correct one, so this is something then you have to give the solution. But at times, parents would have just, unrealistic expectation where they are blaming the teachers because they think they have this, perception that teachers are the, wholly solely responsible for a child's study. And I believe, like, again, until or unless parents wouldn't, participate in child study, they cannot, basically see the outcomes those are desired by them. This is something they have to work hand in hand in collaboration with the school, with the teachers, and then they can basically see those outcomes. They can get on those outcomes, those are required. So yes, blame. This is a common term that is being used when teachers used to come to us, that parents are blaming us that we were responsible for such important tasks, but we have handle it in another way. So this is something, again, the thing is that you need to understand other person's point of view, what actually they want. So then you have to decide what are the actual strategies to apply. But I believe like active listening is a miracle. It's a sort of magic strategy that you can apply in your context, and you can see that how parents basically listen and work with you, because you have to actually convert that problem in collaboration. So I always see parents as collaborator, rather to say that I'm saying that they are one stakeholder, we have to work with them. I actually tried that they should be collaborative strategies must be applied, and they must work as collaborator for the school improvement.
And, Ms. Saima, it happens sometimes that repeatedly parents used to object the policies of the school.
Yes.
And to run an organization, we need the rules and policies. So how you defend the policies of your system then?
Well, this is something, Sobia, again, instead of being defensive or instead of being, descriptive in this manner, I believe, like, again, we need to basically, develop or set a, basic system that is being, informed, that everyone is being informed for that set pattern. Because again, policies are there, those are defining the rules and regulation, where to go, where not to go, what are the do's and don'ts of a school. So this is something, yes, it might be a time non-acceptable by the parent side, but you are the one to create a culture of acceptance in a positive manner. And that is, again, the collaboration is the key to success, where you will sit together and you can just explain that why these policies are in place and how these would impact your school life. On the other hand, if school life is being impacted, then definitely the student learning is interlinked. So we are talking about the student learning when we are talking about a whole school. So this is something, again, it's a two-way understanding, and collaboration is the key in order to make parents realize that we need to basically work together for such important
Ms.
policy.
Saima, are there any common mistakes we are doing while conversating with the parents? What
Yes.
are the things we should avoid actually?
Yes, it's a very good question, Sobia. This is something like, yes, it's happening every day. Because again, we are not dealing with the matters proactively. We are dealing reactively. We are reacting on the issues, and we used to have a set mindset that I'm a leader, I'm a principal, I might have this authority, and why parents are coming to us. Again, this should not be. When you would have a servant approach in your mind, that you are here to serve, and you have to be a role model, and you have to convey your message positively. You have to build on a culture where everyone is respecting each other, listening each other, and giving respect to each other's opinion. Then I think so, like, such issues can be handled smartly.
Thank you so much, Miss Saima, for sharing such beneficial insight with us. And yes, it's not difficult to handle these situations. Actually, what we need to have that empathy, clarity, and professionalism. And then everything will be fine and we can handle all the situation with that. Thank you so much for watching our podcast. Thank you so much.